Ask, or should I say demand, and you shall receive. The Yes Movement took over the ring and Monday Night Raw as a whole, and after weeks of being denied, Daniel Bryan's challenge to a match was finally, albeit defiantly, accepted by Triple H. Not only will Bryan face Triple H at Mania, but he also has the possibility of competing for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. If Daniel Bryan defeats Triple H, he'll earn a spot in the main event of WrestleMania. There was some apprehension expressed among the panel if WWE could sell the crowd on this match. Now that it has been made, how did they do?
I thought they did superbly. At first, when the people first started kind of coming into the ring, it looked very weird because they literally looked like there was like 8 of them, and they looked like Triple H's stereotypical view of the IWC. So I was like, "Oh, great, here we go." But when they came back and the entire like ringside area was just full, it came off really, really well. I really enjoyed it. Everything from Stephanie McMahon channeled her inner McMahon, totally went off. Triple H going off. We talked a lot about Daniel Bryan getting one over on Triple H. I think he definitely did here. Triple H has to be like restrained and kept away from beating the hell out of fans, which is awesome. You get the match you want. They sell you on it. I was bringing up this idea a lot, and I was very skeptical of whether or not they'd actually pull through. When Batista turned heel, it gave a glimmer of hope, and to actually have this scenario set up is amazing. And they sold me so much, I actually picked up the WWE Network this morning after I watched the Raw. So amazing segment, amazing job. I'm looking forward to the rest of the build-up, and I am very excited for this match. And honestly, it's even enhanced my excitement for the World Heavyweight title match.
Yeah, man, this was a career-defining segment. Look, the show was so damn boring. I thank God that I got the opportunity to see this segment, because I had fallen asleep about 20 minutes before this segment even happened. And I woke up to the ring just flooded with all of these Daniel Bryan fans and whatnot. And the whole thing just came off so perfectly, man. I really, really am looking forward to this match. And it finally feels like WrestleMania season to me. It was so good that immediately following the segment, I went and put in my bid to purchase the WWE Network. So I'm on the bandwagon now. I'm ready for WrestleMania. Let's get this show on the road.
Yeah, that segment was absolutely wonderful. And I'm glad Daniel Bryan made reference to back when a lot of people, they always say they're not going to leave the ring, and they end up leaving the damn ring before they get what they want. So great segment. I agree with Monty. Career-defining moment. Excellent delivery by everyone. Triple H blowing a gasket at the end was hilarious. Stephanie did her job perfectly. Everything was great. I was expecting Damien Sandow to join the ring, but he didn't. I don't even remember what happened to him. He's kind of irrelevant, which I called, by the way. But yeah, man, wonderful segment. And this is going to be in those DVDs. When they do Daniel Bryan's DVD on a retrospective of his career, I guarantee you this segment is going to be up there. We had Austin hose down Vince and The Rock and the corporation with beer. We had The Rock stare down and beat Hulk Hogan. And now we have Daniel Bryan occupying Raw. Wonderful.
Did you just call him Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, you are Monty, so if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, right?
Did I say?
Oh my god! With it? Wait a minute! Whoa, he said it.
Oh my god! I walked right into that one.
Gotcha.
At least it's not the other one, though.
Keep the train going. Keep it going.
No,
Give us one.
We have important shit to talk about here.
Go.
Can I just say that these guys are sitting here wanting to talk about him rather than Daniel Bryan? Really?
Yes.
This is a big time moment.
You know what really was a big time moment? What happened on Monday Night Raw? I like that segue there, if I must say so myself. So initially, I pretty much echo the same comments that Charlie had. When the few fans had jumped in the ring, I was like, oh, that's cute. But honestly, it did come off a little bit corny. It wasn't until after the commercial break where I was like, holy piss. Well, that escalated pretty quickly. The entire ring was full, and it even spilled out all around the ringside. And we were talking about on the show last week how they had to sell the fans on this match. Who the hell would have known that they would have had the fans literally in the ring with Daniel Bryan screaming at the top of their lungs in support for this match being made? So they did a great job of encapsulating all of that energy that has been present in favor of Daniel Bryan among the fan base, and he was a great figurehead to all of that. Now, let's move on to his counterparts. This is why I make such a big deal about the erosion of the divide between the faces and the heels. Moments like this wouldn't have been possible if the stage wasn't set for us to love to hate the Authority. If they weren't so devious and screwing Daniel Bryan every single chance that they got. And I thought Stephanie, she was great earlier in the night with her passive-aggressive promo telling Bryan to apologize. But in this segment, she was like, fuck the passive part, and she went from being Stephanie to Vince McMahon Jr. And then Triple H, when he went ballistic, it was just perfect. And I like that, speaking of Triple H, he had no problem adding the world title stipulation because from his perspective, it won't matter because he's so confident that he'll defeat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. He did a great interview with Cole on WWE.com last week where Cole was talking about how people were saying Triple H was afraid of Bryan. But the great part about his character is that when he says, I'm not scared of you, I'm scared of what I'll do to you, and be careful what you wish for because I have the yes movement in the palm of my hands and I'm going to crush it at WrestleMania. When he says stuff like that, I believe he believes that because he doesn't come off as one of those chicken shit heels that's running from a fight. He's basically like, I'm a businessman now and I like making money off your punk ass. But he's so egotistical that he's willing to throw all of that away because Bryan embarrassed the hell out of him. So it's kind of like his old self is creeping up and setting him up for like a pride before the fall type situation. So all in all, the visual was awe-inspiring. Then you couple that with the fact that Triple H, Stephanie, and Daniel Bryan played their parts amazingly well. This was truly an awesome, awesome, awesome moment. And it's a moment that's appropriate for the magnitude of the road to WrestleMania. Like, I agree with Manny when he says it really feels like WrestleMania season now.
Yeah, and I would like to take this moment. We don't do this a lot, and we on the show have criticized people for not doing this, so I would like to take it now. Credit to the WWE creative team for coming up with a unique and definitely great segment.
Okay, I cave. That was a really good segment.
I'm bracing for the end of the world right now. Did we really just do that?
So, yeah, Manny, do you have any questions to ask me now?
Oh, are you talking about how if CM Punk had done the same thing, you would have flipped your shit?
Why the hell did you bring him up? I was hoping for a show where his name would
10 minutes, like
one show where Cookie Puss was not mentioned. But basically, nope. I'm referring to last week when you were like, "How has Daniel Bryan gotten one over on the Authority?" And I said,
"You say it? Wait! You say that like this isn't the first time that that's happened." This is like the first time that Daniel Bryan has gotten one over on the Authority.
But the thing is, I said wait until Triple H accepts that match. And didn't that segment come off in such a grand fashion, though? Like, you have to realize that all of the moments where Daniel Bryan did get his ass kicked, that kind of like encapsulated all of that fury. Like, that moment wouldn't have been possible had people not been so fed up with the way that he's been treated by the Authority.
Well, I mean, that's all well and good. And I'm not complaining about the way that this went over. I love the segment, and I love the fact that Daniel Bryan got one over finally on the Authority. I was just, at that time, I was complaining about how we had months and months and months of a one-sided affair. And that's exactly what it was. Every single Raw, Daniel Bryan was ending on his back or on his stomach, face down or face up with the Authority standing over him. And that, I mean, that's just...
Ass up, face... Sorry.
Please don't go there.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, that image.
Really?
No, stop. Stop.
Sorry, somebody tweeted the link to that video and I thought it was funny.
But no, I mean, like what it was on Monday was, I mean, we'll see what it is going forward from here, but this is the first time that it's really happened. It was a big one. It was a career defining moment, but you could have still had such a great big moment without Daniel Bryan every single week being on his back to end the show.
Well, maybe it was every other week, but I happen to disagree. I honestly do. We needed those moments. And Brandon, he isn't here, but he brought up an amazing point last week on the show when we were actually debating the same issue that we're debating right now. And he said that, yeah, it'll be great for Daniel Bryan to get that revenge on the Authority, but in that specific moment there, it wasn't necessary. They needed to put that heat on the feud to get a type of moment like we got this week.
So it hadn't had heat in 6 months prior to last week?
They had to renew it because Daniel Bryan just recently challenged Triple H to the match at WrestleMania. And we talked about how they had to sell the fans on this match. What good would it have done for Daniel Bryan to beat the shit out of Triple H, and then he goes out there and he says, I want to match with you at WrestleMania? Do you honestly think people would care as much then as they do now?
Yeah, they would, because it would have been Triple H's ego and his pride. They would have pushed him into the match had Daniel. But I wasn't even saying that he had to beat the shit out of Triple H. Can we end with him standing up or like maybe going up the ramp or something and not getting pedigreed for the umpteenth time?
Well, I do believe it was appropriate last week.
I mean,
I honestly do.
And it all worked out for the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I appreciate the segment and appreciate everything that went into it. I'm just saying, for 6 months, you sacrifice 6 months of any Daniel Bryan getting over for one moment of him getting over on Triple H.
I don't think it should be understated, this exact moment, that it's on the road to WrestleMania, though. Because had they had given him a moment months ago, he wouldn't be in this position that he is right now, being so strong heading into WrestleMania.
Well, had CM Punk not left the company, he wouldn't be in this position either.
Here we go again. Damn.